Hi, glad you could join us. I'm Annette Sherman. This is Community. Well, I think that by now you're all aware of the exciting and momentous plans in the works for the 87 years young, because they're not old, they're young. Seem to be getting younger and more vivacious every day. Players of Sarasota, right before our eyes, it's become the center for the performing arts. And in a few years, it'll move north to the Lockwood Ranch area and become an even greater theatrical force in our community. But meanwhile, the show must go on. Now, I never could figure out why the show must go on. Maybe it's got to do with the theater doesn't want to refund any money. Okay, yeah. Or maybe they just don't want to disappoint. But maybe it's just tradition. You know, tradition. So I guess that's why the shows at the Players are going on, even while the work is being done for the new Players Center. And I've invited some very talented people to help me tell you about Legally Blonde, the musical, which opens December the 8th. And well, let me introduce my guests and they can go on. First, okay, the gentleman I'm introducing first, I admit I adore. and for several good reasons. First of all, he's very handsome. Second of all, and it's not second, first, second, third, he's an extraordinarily talented person. Now, I don't think there is anything theatrical that he could do that wouldn't be exceptionally well done. He's witty and funny, and he's the artistic director of the Center for the Performing Arts, Jeffrey Kinn.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, I wish I could.
I know.
You opened that. Yeah, you did. You looked for it.
Smart,
there you
snappy
go.
today.
There you go.
Shame on you.
Then we have, let's see, I lost my place in this then we have Dennis Clark. Dennis Clark, he's the director of the hilarious Legally Blonde. And if you strike up a conversation with him, you might want to ask him about jewelry that you're thinking about buying, because he not only holds degrees in music and vocal performance, he's a graduate gemologist and a certified appraiser. And finally, the very lovely and talented Miranda Wolf. Now, Miranda, I don't think she belies this next statement, but it's amazing. She's only 16 years old and very talented and very professional, who plays, is it Elle? L-L-E-L-L-E in Legally Blonde. And maybe we can get Miranda to sing a song from the show a little later on. So stay with us, we'll find out. First of all, Jeffrey, and everyone, before we get to Legally Blonde, I always like to find out this about people that I don't know very well. I think Jeffrey has told me the answer to this question. He's going to repeat it for us all now today, because it was a long time ago. But I used to have the people from the Oslo Conservatory on every year. We sort of lost track, but when they'd come on, I would ask them, tell me the first time, and this is what I'm asking you guys and gal, the first time you ever were on a stage. Why were you there? First of all, how old were you? Mm-hmm. Why were you there? And tell me about the experience, okay? Let's start with Amanda.
All right, well, my first community theater performance was when I was 9 years old, and I did Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat in the children's choir, which usually represents the different colors of the coat. And ironically, I played the color pink, which is Elwood's favorite color. So.
And that did it for you?
Yeah.
You were smitten.
That's when I began to love theater.
Okay, I will find out more about you in a little while. Okay, not Jeffrey yet, we're Dennis.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first performance was much later than Miranda's. Mine was at the ripe old age of 11. And I was in 5th grade, and at my school, there was usually a 6th grade musical. And if you were in 5th grade and you were talented enough, you could be in the 6th grade musical. And if you weren't, you sat in risers on the stage, and you got to sing the choral numbers. And I sat in the risers on the stage in the choral numbers. But I was so animated in the performance that when I finished, my music teacher, Mrs. Clemens, said to me, "I think I made a mistake." So ever since then, I've really had
So
a
that
passion
did it
for
for you. You knew
Did.
that you were destined.
Yes.
Okay.
Destined to sit on bleachers.
And sing in the background for the rest of my
Sing in
life.
the background.
Right.
Jeffrey, how did this all begin
Yes,
for you?
I was 6.
Oh,
I was in
little
the
Jeffrey with a
yes.
beard and a mustache. at
Exactly.
6.
I had a beard even then.
Ah!
Yeah. I was in the 1st grade, and I was cast in the title role of Rumpelstiltskin. Yes. And I remember forgetting my lines. And I think I kind of made things up. I did a little improvisation at 6. And I think the show might have...
Don't you wish you had a video
It might
of
have
that?
ended a little sooner than the show was supposed to, but I remember jumping off singing something about that old witch has betrayed me or something. But so I made a good effort.
And obviously, a good effort in terms of the feeling that it gave you that catapulted you forward to pursue.
I think there's something that happens when you're young where you're trying to find your feet or what you do, and I think that was a very early time for me to realize, oh, this is something that...
And they all applauded.
And they all
loved
applauded,
you.
and I made people laugh, and, as the youngest of 6, I think that kind of, the people pleasing, so I think when you're young, you tend to be a little bit of a people pleaser, and then...
Well, you're still a people pleaser.
We still
You
are.
Still are.
Yeah.
Performers want to be people pleasers.
Yeah.
But one of the young people that came on with the conservatory, he said his turn came, and he said he was about 6, and it was his synagogue, the temple that his family went to, and it was Passover, and he played a matzah,
Wow.
and that did it for him.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Go figure.
Matzah.
Ma-
Just...
You think it's easy?
I can't imagine. I would be stumped.
It's all costuming.
I guess.
Anyway, let's move along to nowadays and what we're talking about, and that is Legally Blonde, the musical. Jeffrey, please tell us the story of Legally Blonde, the musical.
Yeah, the good news is the entire season is all based on movies that have been turned into musicals. And so this is the perfect example. So this
But they were first movies.
This was first a movie. So Legally Blonde, the movie, Reese Witherspoon, a lot of people are familiar with it. Her and her little dog. And basically, it's, on the surface, it's really about a girl who's in love with a guy, and then he goes to school, and she follows him because she loves him and wants them to be together. And then, of course, when she gets there, he doesn't want her, and she has to try to figure out what her life is about and why she's really there.
The title comes from?
Legally Blonde is because it's a prep school for lawyers. So it's Elle Woods ends up becoming a lawyer in the process. But she's made fun of by the fact that she's blonde and wears pink and is frilly in a world where most people are wearing, black suits and black shirts and black dresses. So, but it's really about her coming of age and realizing that chasing someone else to find out who you are may not be the best route. Sometimes you're better off being on your own or finding your own path.
Okay, that's a good explanation. And the play on Broadway was a straight play, not a musical.
It was a musical.
It was a musical.
It was,
okay,
yeah.
I didn't see it.
Starring Laura Bell Bundy. Mm-hmm. Yes, but most people realize that Reese Witherspoon is the image of Elle Woods, her and her little dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now it opens Legally Blonde, the musical, opens at the regular Players Theater, the one that's been there for a long time on 41, or off 41.
41 and 9th Street, yes.
Yeah. And it will open December the 8th and run until the 23rd of December. I'm going to put the number on the screen and the website on the screen in just a little while, but we'll move along, and then get your pencils or writing implements ready because we are still hoping that we get a song from Miranda. Okay, Dennis Clark, give us a brief understanding about your training, your background, and we're only a half-hour show, and you've had a lot of training in background.
Yeah.
And directing, and how about choreography and music and costumes? You don't do the choreography.
No. Well, I do the choreography, but not the music or the costumes.
But you do the directing and the choreography.
And the choreography,
Yeah,
that's
you're
correct.
busy enough.
Yeah, enough. Yeah, I started out as a music major, a vocal performance major. I was a singer in college for my undergrad, and I did mass communications, broadcast journalism, much like this. So I'm back behind the camera, which is great. And leaving college, I went into musical theater predominantly as a performer, singer, dancer, actor. Did that for a number of years, and then I joined the Actors Union, Actors Equity. And at that point, I started looking back at the time I had spent in college, and I had a lot of opportunities there to direct and choreograph a lot of student-run organizational programs and things like that there. So I looked back and said, I think I might want to get back into that a little bit more too. So I reached out to a lot of the theaters I had previously worked at, now becoming a union member. Some of them were non-union houses, so I could no longer work there as a performer, but they appreciated my work ethic and said, hey, Dennis, yeah, come on back, and maybe you can direct or choreograph something for us. So then
But
I
on the
started doing
side, you
that.
can appraise diamonds.
That's
and
true
have
too.
you.
Yeah,
You still
and
do it.
Yeah, and then in about 2008, I was living in Manhattan, and I had been doing some side work for Sotheby's Auction House in Manhattan in their jewelry exhibits, just kind of assisting them. And the specialist saw that I was interested in it, and she said, well, if you want to do this, if you go full-time, you can get your degree in 6 months, my first gemologist degree. So I went to Carlsbad, California, got a degree in gemology, and then did 2 shows out there
Now,
and came
you
back.
look very young. Is that just my imagination?
That's just your imagination. Yep.
No, don't. I don't. Saying someone's age when they're 16 years of age,
Right.
it doesn't matter. Notice I didn't say Jeffrey's age.
Correct.
And I
52.
didn't say my own age.
Right.
Do you want to tell us how
Sure,
old?
38.
You don't look 38. You look
No.
more like 22,
Awesome.
25.
Sounds great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for the gray hair.
It colors
There's a
that.
little color of little speckles of gray.
You'll see
Yeah,
it
but
in
I
there.
can
that's,
see.
that's attractive.
It is.
It's attractive because there isn't very much
It's
of it. Your whole family
distinguished.
look young like that?
They do. Yep. I'm very fortunate. Genetics. I know.
Okay. I wanted to ask you choreography and music. You told me. Who else is in the cast?
Sure. Brian Kraft plays a student assistant that Miranda gets involved with when she goes off to Harvard. Ian Seco plays the man that she follows off to Harvard and chases there. Alyssa Gowdy plays a hairstylist that befriends her.
Okay, we're not going to be able to hear all the
Right,
cast
and a
because
slew of
we're
other
gonna-
people.
Because we're going to have some wonderful entertainment here. Miranda, I want to know just a little bit about yourself, and then I didn't get an answer to that. Hold still, everybody. It is, first of all, let me admit, it is very bad form to ask a singer to sing in the morning, and we tape these shows in the morning. And although she doesn't have a full orchestra, she has the very talented Barry Ayers, who has come to play his, what is it called?
Clavinova portable piano.
Clavinova, it sounds like something he does to a clavicle or something.
Yeah, something.
But Clavinova portable piano, and we'll get him on stage for a moment to see him later on. But he is talented in whatever he does, so he's going to play for you. So we're all prepared. Let's get that done before we go any further. Tell me the character that you play in Legally Blonde.
I play Elle Woods, and she is the bubbly pink Californian girl.
Why did they cast you in that part? All right, the question is, what happens? Now, the song you're going to do, I don't know the name of it. Can you tell us?
It's called So Much Better.
So Much Better? Cute name. Okay. What has happened in the play just before you sing this song?
So Elle Woods has been dating Warner Huntington III at UCLA for a long time, and then he breaks up with her to go to Harvard and pursue his dreams to become a senator by the time he's 30. And at this point in the show, he has gone off to date another lawyer girl who's more serious than Elle is. And they have just posted the internships for the main teacher at Harvard. And she hasn't found out that she is on the list yet at the beginning of the song.
Just before this song, what provokes this song?
Yes. Her ex-boyfriend, Warner, proposes to his other girlfriend, and she is heartbroken. And then she finds out that she is on the list for the internships, and now she has a purpose beyond him.
Okay, what I'd like you to do, Amanda, is to stand up and come over here because the camera is going to get a better shot of you, and you've got so much to get a good shot of. Okay, and Miranda Wolf singing
So Much Better.
So Much Better from Legally Blonde the Musical.
All of this time I planned I'd be patient and you would love me again. You'd come to respect my mind, and at last you'd find you could love me again. And I have turned my whole world upside down, trying not to let you go. Watching you walk away is like a fatal blow. Whoa! Is that my name in black and white? Your daughter's doing something right, and I feel so much better. I'll be there on Monday, 9 o'clock, and we will see who walks the walk. No, I can't wait. I will be there at 8 when they unlock the door. Oh, I'll even dress in black and white. See, I have not begun to fight, and you'll go much better, and soon all you're gonna know much better that I am so much better. I am so much better. I am so much better than before.
Lovely. Okay, we did capture some pictures of Barry on this clavichord.
Yeah.
Or clavicle or whatever it is. So that was fun. It was just lovely, darling, and I'm sure you're marvelous in the play. Again, let's put that number on the screen, the number to call the players. It is 365. A lot of people make mistakes and say 366. No, 365. 9, I can't.
2494.
That's what he said. He's right. The website is theplayers.org. I'm going to suggest that you can call, but realize that when you call, you have to call during business hours. And they're very helpful, and they'll see to it that you get the date you want and the tickets you want and so forth, the number of tickets. Get a group together, a group of young people may be fun to go and see the show. And then go to the website. But you could do that at 12 o'clock, at the middle of the night if you can't sleep. You're thinking about looking at Miranda, which I guess a lot of guys are going to do,
they do
after they see her sing, or hear her sing, and see her sing.
Yeah.
You're agreeing with everything I say, even though I don't say it right.
Whatever you say is fine with us.
Okay. Use the website. It's easier. Or if you want to call and speak to someone, by all means, call. And there you have the number on the screen. We'll try to put it on the screen once again for you. December the 8th to December the 28th. What happens after Legally Blonde?
Yeah, Legally Blonde closes on December 23rd. So then we have a little break for the holidays. And then in January, we're doing Sweet Charity. Which,
I love Sweet Charity.
I know.
Have you got a great charity?
We do, actually. We're just in the casting process now for the next set of shows. So Sweet Charity is basically our January show. And then we do Big Fish, which is a really beautiful movie that is turned into a musical as well. It's not as well known, and that plays in February. And then in March, the cornerstone musical for the theater is Footloose, which many people know and love that movie. Great dancing, a lot of fun. So that's our big show. And then we wrap up our season, our main stage season, with the farce Boeing, which is an old film from the 60s and quite funny.
Very
and,
popular.
And very popular, yeah. So the entire theme this year is all looking at movies that someone had seen that story and said, wow, there's more to it than just on the silver screen. These would be great live musicals and
The
plays.
reality is that it happens the other way. The
Usually
play, yeah.
it does.
Yeah.
And so that's why part of my job is looking for a season and trying to figure out, do I have a theme? And I started looking at the shows I was interested in, and I started going, oh my, wow. Almost all of these
It's taking form.
were a book. They were books or novels first, and then they were turned into films, and then the story is so good and so riveting. Legally Blonde won all sorts of, it may not have won a Tony, but it won all sorts of audience awards because it's so vibrant and the music works and it tells that story so strongly.
I forget whose material I read this. It may have been yours, Jeff, that you somehow wasn't a big fan of the, was it yours?
Was mine,
yeah.
yes.
But when he went to see it, people were laughing, and it was so charming, and it was so adorable that you fell in love with it.
Yeah, on the surface, sorority girls, bubbly pink, not really my kind of a show at all. But going to it, it was so genuine, so funny, so charming. I fell in love with it. Yeah.
Okay, you're going to fall in love. And if you've got a good example of this beautiful 16-year-old. If you want to fall in love, she's a little young to fall in love, but that's okay. She'll have her day, or week, or month, or years. The Players Center. It's being called by the new name, so it is the center, the Players Center for Performing Arts.
Correct.
But the physical building, the theater, is still where it's always been. It will move up to the north in about. We're hoping 2 or 3 years.
We're thinking spring of 2020 to have a satellite location going. We may not have the whole building built by then. And actually, it's not that far north, just so you know. It's really just out east on Fruitville. We will be the southernmost point of Lakewood Ranch, which is actually just north of Fruitville Road. So
okay.
we're
You're
not
going to get very
far.
familiar with this.
Yeah.
But right now you're saying it and being
Right.
articulate in saying it because people think, oh, Lakewood Ranch,
Everyone
maybe I
thinks
don't want to
that.
go there.
Yeah.
But it's not that far.
Not
and
that
the
far.
truth is that, what is it, a couple of minutes more to
Yeah.
get to see the quality shows that you get at the Players. But they're going to come. They're
Yeah.
going to come. Build it and they will come.
That's
you know, as
exactly
they say.
right.
Okay.
That's exactly
Okay.
right.
We get back to the reason we're here today, and that is Legally Blonde. And Legally Blonde opens on
December the 8th.
and runs until
The 23rd. So it's a great holiday show. There's the way I got away with doing it for the holidays is there's shopping involved. So if you want to see a show that is wonderful, that would be a great gift for the holidays. And we all know that there are people that are challenging to buy for. It is a great feel-good musical that everyone will enjoy.
Okay, it just brought up a thought that is important around this time of the year. What am I going to give my uncle? What
Yeah.
am I going to give my next door neighbor? What am I going to give my friends? How about a couple of tickets
Yeah.
to Legally Blonde? Let
Yeah.
them laugh, let them applaud, and let them see, well, the other members of the cast are probably just as charming, or maybe almost just as charming as our beautiful Miranda. Okay, I do want to mention that we're out of time, really. The community is brought to you as a commercial-free public service by Community Video Archives in partnership with SNN Suncoast News Network. Community Video Archives, that is our mother organization, and that is the organization that has been running now, the program has been running for 40 some odd years, and I've been hosting it, creating it for that many years. Maybe more, I lose count after a while.
Wow.
However, Community Video Archives is about 28, 29 years old, and we choose 4 individual living people to, and the people that are chosen have, and this costs them nothing, have their video biography produced. And those video biographies, now there's about 150 of them in every Sarasota County Public Library, in the Library of Congress, et cetera, can be borrowed like books at no charge from any public library. Our yearly event is going to be April the 24th, and we have 4 sensational, extraordinary people that I don't think we have time to tell you today. We do have time, okay? The 4 people that are going to be honored with their video biography are, without going into first, second, and third, but here are the people. Charles Dan Bailey, who is a renowned lawyer, known for his professional skills, but also for his dedication to community service. The innovative, award-winning architect, Guy Peterson. And Guy has won over 80 prestigious awards in his 36-year career. A fabulous architect, a very handsome man. That's an addition to his talent.
It's a bonus.
The judge, Lee Hayworth, one of the most active, productive, and caring Chief Justices in local history, and he'll be there to be honored, and his life story will be beautifully done by our 2 producers, Myron and Christy Thomas. And last but not least is Ian Webb. Ian Webb, who is the head of the Sarasota Ballet, who has succeeded in taking Sarasota Ballet to unprecedented national and international recognition. Extraordinary, yeah. What they've done, they brought the ballet to New York, and reviews were all exceptional, and they're doing very well.
They do great work.
Well, I can't wait to see the new Players Center.
Yeah, me too.
But
they're designing it right now, so.
But by the same token, you'll be playing, as I said at the beginning of the program, doing shows without stop. So it's not a matter of, oh my God, when are they going to be back?
Correct.
You can go and see theater and see really excellent theater. I love what Jeffrey said about the new complex, the new center. It's going to be the most professional community theater in the country. And you know something, I think you've achieved that now, but you're going to make it absolute.
Thank you.
Okay, sweetheart, the best to you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome to come on whenever you can.
Thank
Pleasure
you.
meeting you.
Oh.
Do me a favor. Get old. One time I see
Age.
you've got so long to go, and I wish you. Do you plan a professional career?
Yes, I do.
We'll watch you then. Okay, and we're about out of time. Thank you very much for being with us. Remember, April the 23rd is the luncheon. We'd like you to be there. Call me, and I'll arrange tickets for you. Bye-bye. You'll pay for them, though.
The time really flew. We bid you adieu from community. If you want to know why we love it here, so check out Community. Well, it's a who's who, a what's, when, and where show. It's a mover and shakers who care show. Meet your neighbor.